The American Bankers Association, the FDIC, and banks across the country have been issuing formal warnings to their customers, specifically to seniors, about things they're telling people to stop doing. Not suggestions, not tips. Formal warnings backed by federal consumer protection agencies and documented fraud cases from 2026. I went through all of it carefully, and I decided this needs to be talked about plainly, because most people either haven't seen these warnings or saw them and didn't take them seriously enough. Everything I'm covering today applies to anyone who receives Social Security on a card, visits a bank branch, or uses an ATM. That's essentially every senior in America. For years, I've tracked exactly this kind of information on this channel: new threats, new rules, new protections, before they become a problem for you or someone you care about. Let's go through all 5 warnings in order, starting with the one that's emptying accounts in a matter of hours. Warning 1. Cash trap devices inside ATMs, active in 2026. There's a scheme circulating right now that's emptying senior bank accounts in a matter of hours, and it starts not online, not over the phone, but in person, at the ATM or inside the bank itself. The American Bankers Association issued an official fraud alert following documented cases in Philadelphia and surrounding areas where criminals were placing physical cash trap devices inside ATMs. Here's exactly what the device does. A small piece of hardware is inserted into the cash dispenser slot, the opening where your bills come out. When you complete a valid transaction, the machine processes your withdrawal and your account is debited. The bills are dispensed by the machine, but the trap device captures the bills before they reach your hands. The screen shows the transaction is complete. No cash appears. You assume the machine malfunctioned. You walk away. The criminal returns to the ATM immediately after, removes the trap device along with your cash, and disappears. The Secret Service and the ABA both issued warnings about this specific scheme in 2026. It's not theoretical. It's happening. Here's exactly what to do if this happens to you. If you complete a transaction and cash doesn't come out, do not walk away from the ATM, stay at the machine. Call your bank's fraud line immediately from your cell phone while still standing at that ATM location. Tell them the transaction showed as complete, but no cash was dispensed, and ask them to flag the transaction immediately. Your physical presence at the machine, combined with the immediate call, creates a record that dramatically improves your ability to reverse the transaction and recover the funds. The behavior that enables this scheme is leaving the ATM before calling. The device only works if you leave. Stay. Call. Don't leave until you've spoken with the bank. Warning 2. Your card never leaves your hands. This is the rule every major bank is now formally stating in its consumer guidance documents. Your debit card or credit card never leaves your hands at an ATM. Not to a stranger offering to help. Not to someone who says the machine is confusing. Not to anyone standing near you, regardless of how friendly or helpful they appear. Here's the reason this rule exists in such absolute terms. A device called a skimmer, and its more sophisticated 2026 evolution called a shimmer, can read every piece of information stored on your card in under 3 seconds of physical contact. A traditional skimmer reads the magnetic stripe on the back of your card. A shimmer is different and more dangerous. It's small enough to fit inside the card slot itself, and it reads your chip, the more secure EMV chip that was supposed to make card fraud harder. 3 seconds of someone else holding your card is enough for either device to capture everything it needs to clone your card or make fraudulent transactions. You wouldn't see it happen. You wouldn't feel it. The card simply changes hands for a moment and then comes back to you. The damage is done. If you have difficulty using the ATM yourself, if the buttons are small, if the screen is hard to read, if you need assistance, the correct course of action is to go inside the branch and ask a uniformed bank employee at the teller window, not a stranger in line, not someone who approaches you near the machine offering help. A uniformed bank employee, inside the branch, at a secured teller station. If anyone near an ATM reaches toward your card, pick up your card and walk into the branch. Don't engage, just walk away. Warning free, your PIN is shielded every single time. The ABA's official consumer guidance states this plainly and without exception. Cover the keypad with your other hand every single time you enter your PIN, even if no one appears to be standing near you, even if you're alone at the machine, even if it feels unnecessary. Here's why the "even if no one is nearby" part matters. Documented fraud cases in 2026 have involved small mirrors positioned at ATM stations, cameras disguised as part of the ATM housing, and recording devices attached to structures near the keypad that captured PINs from customers who believed they were completely alone. A criminal doesn't need to be standing next to you to see your PIN, they need the recording device they placed earlier. Covering the keypad with your hand eliminates this risk regardless of how it was set up. The same rule applies inside the branch at a teller window. When a bank employee helps you with a transaction that requires your PIN, that employee is required by bank policy to look away when you enter the number. That's not courtesy, it's bank policy, and in most states it's a consumer protection requirement. If you're at a teller window and the employee doesn't look away, you can say directly and politely, "Please turn away while I enter my PIN." That's your right as a customer. Any legitimate bank will honor it without hesitation. If the employee doesn't comply, ask for the branch manager. Warning 4, the cryptocurrency ATM scheme, the fastest growing senior fraud in 2026. This is the newest and most dangerous scheme banks flagged specifically in 2026. The FBI and the Associated Press have both reported that this is now one of the fastest growing financial frauds targeting seniors in the country. And the people who fall for it aren't naive. They're often sharp, educated, careful, and they still lose everything. Here's exactly how it works. You receive a call or a text message from someone claiming to be the IRS, Social Security Administration, Medicare, or law enforcement. They tell you your account has been compromised, or that you owe back taxes, or that someone has stolen your identity and your funds need to be protected immediately. They sound extremely official. They know your name. Sometimes they know details about your finances that feel impossible for a stranger to know. They're calm, professional, and persistent. They then direct you to go to your bank, withdraw cash, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars, and deposit it into a Bitcoin ATM or cryptocurrency kiosk. They tell you this is the only secure way to protect your money from the fraud they've described. The moment you feed that cash into the machine, it's gone permanently. Cryptocurrency transactions are irreversible. The money can't be tracked. It can't be frozen. It can't be recovered. There's no dispute process. There's no fraud protection. The cash is gone as completely as if you handed it to a stranger and watched them drive away. Indiana became the first state to ban cryptocurrency ATMs entirely in March 2026. Tennessee and Minnesota followed. As of mid-2026, roughly 30 states have passed laws restricting crypto kiosk operations, with specific provisions targeting this exact scheme. Banks across the country are now training their employees to intervene when a senior customer makes an unusual large cash withdrawal, because in many of these cases, the victim is on the phone with the scammer while standing at the teller window. If a bank employee asks you why you're making a large cash withdrawal, answer honestly. They're not being intrusive. They're not judging you. They may be the last person standing between you and a total, permanent loss. The real IRS does not instruct anyone to move money into cryptocurrency. The real Social Security Administration does not instruct anyone to move money into cryptocurrency. Real law enforcement does not instruct anyone to move money into cryptocurrency. Not ever. Not under any circumstances. Not even in a genuine emergency. This instruction, in any form, from any caller, is always a scam. Quick reminder before the last warning. None of these 5 require any special technical skill to protect yourself from. Every single one comes down to a simple habit you can start today. Warning 5. Your phone stays in your hands inside the bank. This is the warning that catches people most off guard, because it feels rude to refuse, and it happens in a context that seems completely normal and helpful. You're inside the bank. A bank employee, or someone who appears to be a bank employee, offers to help you set up a mobile banking app, fix a problem with your account access, or assist you with a digital service on your phone. They ask to see your phone. You hand it over. It feels like routine assistance. Here's what banks are formally warning customers about in 2026. Your phone, with an open banking app, is direct and complete access to every account linked to that app. In documented cases from 2026, a phone in someone else's hands for as little as 30 seconds has been used to transfer funds to an external account, add a new trusted device to your banking credentials, or install remote access software that later gave the criminal ongoing control of your device, and therefore your accounts, long after you left the bank. Bank employees help customers by explaining what steps to take and what information to enter. You enter the information yourself. The employee guides you. They do not handle your device. If anyone inside a bank insists that they need to physically hold your phone to assist you, ask for the branch manager. That's a completely reasonable request. Any legitimate bank will honor it immediately. If the person pushing to hold your phone is reluctant to involve a manager, that reluctance is the clearest possible signal that something is wrong. Now, the trusted contact system, what it is, and why to set it up. Banks are now offering, and in some states are required to offer, what's called a trusted contact designation. This is different from a power of attorney, and different from a beneficiary designation. A trusted contact is simply a person, a family member, a close friend, an adult child, whose name and phone number are on file at your bank. The trusted contact has zero access to your money. They cannot make transactions, withdrawals, or changes to your account. They're simply someone the bank can call if their fraud monitoring systems detect unusual activity that suggests you may be experiencing fraud or financial exploitation. For example, if you've never made a wire transfer in your life and your account suddenly shows a $15,000 wire transfer initiated, the bank can call your trusted contact and say, "We're seeing unusual activity. Can you reach your family member and confirm this is authorized?" If your family member reaches you and you confirm it was a scam, the bank can attempt to reverse the transaction before it clears. Setting up a trusted contact takes approximately 10 minutes at any bank branch and requires only the name and phone number of your designated person. Call your bank and ask whether they offer a trusted contact system. If they do, set it up this week. Here's the complete summary of what banks are formally warning seniors about in 2026. Cash trap devices inside ATMs are active and documented. If your cash doesn't dispense after a completed transaction, stay at the machine and call your bank immediately. Don't walk away. Your card never leaves your hands at an ATM under any circumstances, regardless of who's offering to help. Cover the keypad every single time you enter your PIN, even if you believe you're alone, because cameras and recording devices exist that you'd never see. No government agency will ever instruct you to withdraw cash and deposit it into a cryptocurrency ATM. That instruction, in any form, is always a scam, and the money is unrecoverable once deposited. Your phone stays in your hands inside the bank. Employees guide you through steps. They don't hold your device to help you. And consider setting up a trusted contact designation with your bank this week. It costs nothing, takes 10 minutes, gives your family members zero control over your money, and might be the call that starts a fraud before it completes. Pass this along to someone you know who has a bank account. The awareness is the protection. I'll see